All right. It is now being recorded. Hooray. So here's our agenda for today. We have a few different perspectives that we need to check out. That is the agency's perspective. So that's going to be the awesome organizations that are going to be creating profiles, recruiting volunteers, all that great stuff. From there, we'll have the user's perspective, so our equally awesome volunteers, how they're going to be utilizing the site. And then we'll wrap everything up with the manager perspective again, just talking about time tracking and statistics. And King County team, if you need to interject at any time to clarify any of the areas, I might even pause and ask you to kind of clarify a couple of things, if that's okay, just some of the language overrides you guys have done.
And I do want to put something in right now. We have, so for our organizations, some of them will have their profile and opportunities imported into the new system. And can you show us like how an organization would edit imported their profile or opportunity information?
That's actually the way we're going to run the training, as if it's already
okay,
an
perfect. I just want it to be also in there. And then the other thing is the duration category cannot be edited once the opportunity is submitted. Mm-hmm. And if an organization wants to change the duration from one time to shift, for example, they would need to delete the opportunity and create a new one, and just kind of talk a little bit about that too. I just wanted to put that in so I don't interrupt your presentation.
Sure.
Slide it in there. Okay,
sure.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, let's go ahead and open the King County site. So here it is. Isn't it lovely? I guess some of you guys probably haven't seen this yet. So we're actually going to do today's training a little bit differently. We're going to pretend that I am actually not the customer training specialist for Galaxy Digital. I'm actually a volunteer coordinator for a local nonprofit called Meowton Cat Sanctuary.
We're getting a little bit of a lag, so we've only just got the picture up. So we'll just want to adjust a little bit.
Okay, that's fine. Hopefully it'll catch up. Sometimes it will start that way and then it eventually catches up with itself. But just let me know if I'm looking at something and you're not there yet.
Okay.
Cool. So if I were a brand new agency, so Alice mentioned that some of you guys will be imported and some of you guys will need to create new profiles. If you need to create a brand new profile, you're going to start at this link down here. However, if you're going to be imported and once you have already created a profile, everyone will log in the same way, which is this login button up top. So I've already created a profile on Get Connected, so I'm just going to go ahead and click the login button and log in as myself. Can you guys see the login button, the login screen now?
Yeah. Make it faster.
Okay, yeah, let's go to training, man. It's all over the place. So I'm just going to log in as myself. And what we'll notice is that as soon as I click the login button, I'll be redirected to my agency profile. So if you happen to manage multiple organizations, and so I'm just going to go ahead and apologize in advance if I call something an agency. There's been a change of language that you guys will be using organization. So just know that if I slip and say agency, I mean organization. They're both the same thing. So you can always access your organization profile by clicking this link at the top. And if I scroll on down, you'll also see this great agency manager's toolbox. So this is a really awesome way to learn more about Get Connected. We have rotating articles and videos, way that you can contact your site administrators, and just this is a really helpful area to utilize. Also in the top right corner, if I hover over the little question mark, you'll see help. And this will redirect you to our help center, which also has articles and videos and is just a really helpful place for you to get any questions to, or any answers to the questions you might have. So let's go ahead and dive right in. And our first step is to edit our agency profile. So if you haven't created one yet, you're going to have to go in and type all this out. You guys are awesome, so I'm not going to make you watch me type. We're just going to pretend that I'm editing an existing profile. So first things first, you need to upload your logo. Please keep in mind that it needs to be at least 540 by 540 pixels. That is the perfect size for the logo. And the less white space, the better. You'll notice with mine, I have that pretty pink, and that just gives it a really crisp look. Now, if you have an image that's larger than 540 by 540 pixels, no problem at all. You can crop it within the system. Now, before I dive too much deeper into this, I want to talk more about organization managers because this is a really important area to understand. Organization managers are the people that have the ability to edit an organization profile, post needs and events, and approve or decline volunteer hours. So you don't want a ton of people to be an organization manager, right? You can have multiple, but if you have more than, say, 3 or 4, that's a lot of cooks in the kitchen with a lot of access to your data. So just try to keep it to a smaller number if possible. Now, in order to be added as an organization manager, you do have to have an existing Get Connected account. Let's say I want to add my good friend Beyonce. Believe it or not, Beyonce does not have a Get Connected account in King County. That probably needs to change, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. But if I wanted to add my friend Diane, I can add her as an organization manager because she has an existing Get Connected account. And all I would have to do is select her name, and poof, she'd be added. So you're probably noticing right now that I have a filled in star while Diane's is empty. And this is nothing personal towards Diane. It just means that I'm the primary manager. And although Diane and I both have ability to edit an organization profile, only I have the ability to add additional organization managers, delete existing agency managers, or make someone else the primary. Besides those 3 differences, Diane and I have the same responsibilities with this organization. I think this is a really important area to understand, so I just want to pause for a moment and make sure that this is all crystal clear.
What's the term difference between agency and organization? Can you say that again?
It's just a preference. I believe that's just a language override that Diane and Rachel asked for. Some United Ways use the term agencies.
Okay, so it's not a level differentiation. It's
Yeah.
they're interchangeable.
Yeah, it's an override. So most places it should say organization manager, not agency manager. Although I noticed it's on the toolbox, so we'll add that.
Oh no, I have to redo my print screens.
Okay. So we feel pretty good about this spot right here? All right. Then let's keep on going and talk about basic information. Of course, you need to put your organization name. You also get to come up with your own customized link. So if you want to share your Get Connected profile easily, you create basically the tail end of that link, and this URL is generated, and this is what you can copy and paste across social media, emails, all the great places that you want to share your profile. You have hours of operation, so you can, this is a free text field, which I really love, which means that you can be as specific as you need to be about the hours of your organization. And then for contact information, we want you to be as thorough with this as possible with who folks need to contact if they have any questions with the organization. Now, I do want to pause here for additional notification recipients. And this is a neat area. So maybe you have folks that want to know when someone responds to an opportunity, or they want to know when someone RSVPs to a community event within your organization. You can put their email address there, and they'll get those same notifications, but they will not have editing capabilities. So that's just a cool area to utilize. Now, I did want to pause here and let someone from King County explain a little bit more how you guys are utilizing focus areas, because this works a little bit differently on our other sites. So I thought this would be a cool opportunity for you guys to explain what a focus area is, and I can explain how to select them.
Okay. So can I get the little mouse? Oh, here it is. So with United Way, what we've done is, I can't. Could you click on the focus area so it can drop down? Thank you. And so what United Way has done is we have categorized a bunch of the different areas that your agency might be your organization might be serving. And so you can select any number of these that work with your organization and what you guys focus on. And then when volunteers go into the site and they do a search, and they also state that they are interested in this in these opportunities, it would bring them to this, and then also if another organization or your organization puts this in there and you have a new opportunity, it will also go into their inbox. If they were to choose, no?
Doing the email.
Oh, okay. All right. So forget what I said about that. But yeah, so you can go ahead and kind of categorize the focus areas of your organization.
Right. That was a great explanation. So I just want to show how easy it is to select. You just hover over the focus area you want to choose, and then you might say, oh, wait, no, I don't mean that. It's as easy as removing it. And this was alluded to, but this is a really important way to make sure that your organization is being matched with the best potential volunteers who have the same passions that your organization does. We've just seen that this brings more dedicated volunteers, more focused volunteers, and so this is a really important area to utilize.
And Alice, you were saying that you can select more than one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, you can.
But you should be careful not to select everything.
You don't want fire.
Occasionally we have organizations that select everything, and it doesn't necessarily help narrow things down. It's like you really want to focus on those areas that are your primary issues and that you work on.
Right, exactly. And so I sometimes forget to mention that piece because realistically you could select each of these, but it's not going to be an effective tool if it's overused, if that makes sense. All right. So for organization video, you need to paste a URL from YouTube or Vimeo into this box, and this looks really cool on your profile. And as we keep on scrolling down, we have our social media links. We, of course, want you guys...
Say what clusters? Is that a subcategory?
Yes, it's So these have also been created by King County. So if you see court-mandated or holiday opportunity, this can be applied to your organization as well. It's kind of like
We'll be adding those as we think, areas where we want to capture things across agency issues.
Okay.
Right.
Yep, that answers my question.
No problem. Cool. So like I was saying, official website, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. Of course, you want to say where you're located. I should mention that this is shown publicly. So if you work somewhere like a shelter and you don't want to give a public address, a PO box is fine. And then also you have this great additional location information box. So if you have a tricky parking situation or anything like that, this is a free text box so you can write what you see fit. And as we scroll down to the bottom, this is where we're allowed a little bit more creative freedom. This is the fun stuff with our descriptions. So first off, we need to talk about who we are. So who are you as an organization? What's your mission statement? What's your highest level of objective. And to help tell your story, you have the ability with our WYSIWYG text editor to add photos, play around with font, add links, really use the WYSIWYG to help tell your story in a captivating way. You also have the opportunity to say what we do. So what are the actions you're taking as an organization to make the who we are happen? So you have both of these areas, both have a WYSIWYG, and although it's tempting to write a lot in both of these spaces because you guys are awesome and there's a lot to say, I do encourage you to be pretty short and sweet in these areas just so a potential volunteer can get a strong snapshot of who you are quickly. Now, the most important thing I can tell you about your profile is this little button here. And you've probably seen it sprinkled throughout, but even though they're all sprinkled in different places, they all serve the same very important function, and that is saving your hard work. So if you spend a lot of time in here, make it look perfect. Unless you click this button, none of that hard work is saved. So please make sure you click this button, whether you're adding a number to an address or rewriting everything. This button's important. And it should be noted that if I were to click the update button here, it would save the entire page, not just this specific area.
Hey, Michelle, can you talk a little bit about the page timing out and how that may affect if you don't click that button?
Right. So the page will time out after 2 hours. I feel like I have the same work style as a lot of people where I'll have a million tabs open at once and I'll just bop through each tab and do spend a little bit of each time on each tab. And that is fine for here. Just make sure that after you've done a little bit of work, you click update organization info because it will time out and it doesn't save work that way either. And I also wanted to point out that you can upload photos onto your profile. It's easy peasy. You can click add new photo and select one from your computer or drag and drop from your desktop. And you can remove them easily as well. You just click on it and then the trash can. And those are all the steps to editing a profile. I did just want to pause and see if there's anything that you guys wanted to elaborate more on, or if there's any questions or anything like that.
You're going to probably get into this, but then does that serve as a photo bank that you then draw upon to like put on the actual opportunity postings?
You can. It does upload it into some sort of an image manager, but this will appear on your profile. So if you have an image that you only want to appear, say, in your needs, then that's where you should upload it, is just on that specific opportunity.
Okay.
All right. Sounds like we're pretty clear. You guys ready to talk about adding opportunities?
Yep.
Okay, I was like, uh-oh, it's quiet. So let's go ahead and click on this tab. And so this is everyone's favorite part because this is how we get all of our awesome volunteers in the door, right? So this is actually super easy to do. You would click add new opportunity if you wanted to start from scratch. You can export a list of your responses as well as a list of your opportunities that you've created. And you can also go back in and edit an existing opportunity. Let's go ahead and just stick with the professional administrative assistant position we have here. So as I scroll on down, our first step is to come up with an engaging title. So this is a very important part to utilize because we want to get volunteers excited about working with us. We want to make sure we're being pretty clear in what we're looking for. That's why I encourage you guys to steer clear from using titles like help wanted or volunteers needed. Those are kind of vague and they may not get a volunteer super amped up to learn more about the opportunity. And then we have our great description box where we can give a little bit more information about the opportunity we're posting about. As you can tell, I have no shortage of cat pictures, and so I want to use them in all my descriptions. And you can also add bullet points, play around with bold and italics and play around with font color, all of that good stuff. And this is a really important area to utilize so that you can give a potential volunteer as much information as they need to know that this is a strong fit. Now as for...
question.
Oh, go ahead.
Is there a way to play with font size?
Yes, that's a great question. It's with this little arrow here. We have heading,
Okay.
it's this way.
Okay, perfect. All right.
So let's talk a little bit about duration. You have quite a few options here. Oh, it won't even, okay. So I'm not sure if this is a bug or not. Duration is really important, so if you guys don't mind to just kind of pause your brain for a second, we're going to hop back to the opportunity list because I want to show you the different types there are. So we're going to click Add New Opportunity. And this kind of feeds into what Alice was saying, that you can't change the duration of an opportunity once it's been created. So that kind of illustrated the point very well, but I do want to explain to you guys the different types of durations you can choose from. So your first that you can choose is ongoing. This is something that we don't necessarily strongly encourage you guys to use just because it's easy to get lost in the shuffle if a need is ongoing, but that just means that you're always accepting new volunteers. This opportunity is always going on. You can say that a need runs until a specific date. This is pretty self-explanatory. You get to choose the date you would like the opportunity to run until. Same with happens on. You can say this happens on one date. I need the volunteers just on this one day, and this is the strong fit for that. Now this is a brand new feature to Get Connected, and that is being able to schedule shifts. So if you have something like custom shifts where you need someone to be there Monday at 3 o'clock, Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and Wednesday at noon. Those can be 3 different shifts where you can seek 3 different sets of volunteers. So custom shifts is what it sounds like. You can make this as customized for what you're looking for as you need. Now recurring shifts probably sounds a little self-explanatory as well, but this is you need a volunteer every Tuesday at 2 p.m. for the next 5 weeks. This is a great way to just do it in one full swoop. And if this still doesn't feel like quite enough information, there is an opportunity duration video that you'll be prompted to watch the first time you log in. So if you want a little bit more detail on that, we have that video. And also, ladies at King County, I can just go ahead and send you the link to that video if you want to shoot it out to your organization managers as well.
Yes, please.
Sounds good. I will send it your way. Sorry, I'm just writing it down so I don't forget. Okay. So let's hop back into the professional administrative assistant position now that we've learned a little bit more about duration. And now from here, you have the opportunity to select a date that you would like the registration to close. This isn't a required field, but we were getting some feedback that organization managers really wanted folks to stop accepting volunteers after a certain date. So if I have an event that runs until December 3rd, maybe the last day folks can register to volunteer is November 30th. So you do have this opportunity here. You have the ability to set a capacity, so the number of volunteers you're looking for each opportunity, the number of hours it will take, and then you also have an hours description. And then you can also decide if you want to allow team registration. So this is really nice if you have, say, a Girl Scout troop or a local soccer team or a group of coworkers that want to come in and work together as a team. If I keep this as yes, then folks can respond as one coherent team. Or if I say no, that means I'm just looking for individual responses. Just to clarify a little bit, even if you select yes, that means that you are accepting both individual responses and teams. It's not one or the other. Of course,
I have a comment.
Sure.
I really like to allow team registrations. That's not a feature that's in some other products, and I think it helps answer people's questions right away, like, or if they assume something could be done by a small team, they figure out pretty quickly that they can't. Back up on capacity.
Sure.
I'm just thinking in a world, we just had an internal conversation in my organization the other day about using straightforward language. Is there any way to say capacity / number of people or something? I think the occasional person that's looking at this is just going to go, what does capacity mean?
Sure. So that's actually a really good comment. I would have to, I don't think that's a language override we have currently. It'd be something I'd have to bring up, but I agree. Yeah. I think that it's so funny. As soon as you started phrasing your question, I knew exactly what you were going to say. I was like, oh man, I bet capacity, like that doesn't always make sense. So I think changing it to something like number of volunteers or something like that could be better. So I'll definitely bring that up with my developers.
Okay. Again, I think like from the agency standpoint, they're going to totally know, but that prospective volunteer, it just may be just one of those things that could be confusing, and it,
sure,
you know, I don't want that to get in the way.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Or even making it into one of those red, those little orange question marks.
That's true. We can always add help text as well.
Yeah.
I love those little question marks.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. Give a little hover. Awesome. So I wrote that note down, and so I will bring it up with my developers. But I did want to talk a little bit about age requirements. You can decide the age of the user or the age of the volunteer you're looking for. Of course, you need to provide an address so we don't have any wandering volunteers. And then you can select your impact area. So, ladies, if you want to dive in a little bit deeper into why you selected these as your impact areas.
I think sorry. I'm looking at them just to make sure I'm talking about the right thing. But I think they're similar to the focus areas. It's just acknowledging that an organization could do multiple things, and like Kirkland, you could be doing something that's related to the environment in parks, but you could also be doing youth work. So it's acknowledging that this particular opportunity may have a single focus. It may be just about working with youth or support for youth, even though at the agency or the organization level you have youth, environment, and civic. Yeah.
Right.
So this is just that way to really get the opportunity
I like
level
that.
Focused in.
Great.
Can you go back up and show what the age choices were again?
And I have a question about that as well.
Okay.
Okay. There's the list. What was the question?
I just wanted to see them again.
So it's family friendly, 13, 14 to 16 or older, 18 or older, 21 or older, and 55 or older.
So my question is, can you have a range? Because we have a young professionals group for people in their 20s and 30s.
Oh.
So could we specify the range?
At this time,
we are also asking their, oh wait, never mind.
But for that opportunity,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
That's really looking for.
sure. At this time, we don't offer the ability to create a custom range. That's not something. I don't know if I've heard something like creating a custom range before, but I'm sure everyone in King County is going to laugh, but this is something that I could submit as an enhancement request. Just something that we would have to consider in development if it's something that would make sense to apply across all sites, because with age requirements, that's something that affects all our clients. So, but that is a good suggestion, and I will be sure to take note of it.
Thanks. And I know that a lot of other United Ways also have similar age range programming as well, so be sure to reach out to them too.
Cool. Sounds good. So I believe we're at impact area. So activities and abilities, this is another way to reach a strong set of volunteers by how they want to help. So this is a little bit different than the focus areas. This is how folks want to engage with your organization through this need. So maybe, you know, I've selected fundraising. I love to help fundraise for groups. I like to do admin work. And so these are ways that volunteers can find this specific opportunity based on how they want to help. And then I should also note that I'm sorry?
Are you able to not select anything in that?
No, you need to select at least one.
Okay. Over the years, I've been doing this for about 25 years now. You'd be surprised how many people can talk themselves out of doing like even an outdoor planting if you select gardening and something. Somebody will tell themselves, I've had conversations with people who will say, well, I've actually never gardened, so I didn't think that I would be qualified for that. And so...
Can you highlight the list?
Sure.
Real quickly? Because I think the way that some of this is, I mean, so these are very, very broad categories.
I know.
16 because we had, and so, like even, I'm trying to think of gardening. Garden and repair. I mean, we went with really sort of high level and clean and decorate. And so it may be that.
Oh, and I get it. It's really hard to capture everything, but I for years have thought if one of the options you could select was just like enthusiasm and willingness, because some people will get intimidated and talk themselves out of like, well, I don't formally have this training, or I've never officially done this, and I've had these conversations with people, and I go, oh no, I wish you hadn't read so much into that. It's like anybody can show up, you know, and do that.
So what was that? Enthusiasm and
like
what?
Enthusiasm and willingness. Something very general.
Yeah.
If you feel like it's an over-representation.
Because we didn't want to say, we were struggling, but do we want to say like unskilled or?
Because you don't want to sell people short. But a way to say, like in this case, really anybody can show up.
If you have opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
You can do this job.
Some last category that is kind of says anybody, but
anyone will.
In a positive way.
Yeah.
Sure.
And is that a multiple choice? Can you choose more than one?
Yeah, you can choose. Yeah, so if it's,
So can we have 17?
No, you can't. You know you can't. But I did just want to point out that just a couple of things. I feel like if someone is searching for garden and repair, they're going to be interested regardless. So there's that. But also, the description box is a great thing to take advantage of, where, you know, they may want to say, like, everybody is welcome. Something like that. And then you could make it bold and big and, you know, that kind, you know, so if that's a concern, like just taking advantage of the description box as well. But I do like the idea of a category that's just enthusiasm and willingness. Cool. Do you guys have any other questions about adding a need?
Do you want to talk a little bit about the waiver at the bottom? I don't think you.
Oh, okay. I think I got excited. I think my own enthusiasm and willingness distracted me.
And
And also the additional notifications for the
Sure.
specific need.
Yeah, because this is a really cool, I just actually mentioned this section to someone earlier today, because I do like that with additional notification recipients, maybe you have someone that doesn't need to edit anything, and also they don't need to know every time anyone responds to any need your organization's posted. You can turn this on and only send notification recipient or send notifications to the emails you put into this box. And they will only get an email from Get Connected if someone responds to this specific need.
Yeah, that's nice.
And as for waiver, you can upload this, and this will be something that a volunteer will need to check. Yes, I agree. And if they don't check that box, they can't proceed with filling out their response. So if you do have a waiver you need folks to agree to, you can upload it right here, and it'll be presented when the volunteer is asked to respond, or when they're responding to the need. All right. Everything sound good so far?
Yep.
Okay, then let's head on over to community events. And so events are a little bit different from opportunities in that they're not necessarily volunteer focused. It's just ways to get people involved with your organization. Maybe it's a board meeting that everyone can come to, or maybe it's a fundraiser or a 5K. You can add a brand new event with this button on the right-hand side, export RSVPs and a list of your events with these buttons here, or you can edit an existing event by clicking on the title. So let's learn more about the Cat Ladies Night Meout. So once again, a title is important. We want to make sure that everyone is a little intrigued. And if y'all can't tell by now, I have no problem being cheesy. So I think that can go a long way when you are posting events for your organization. And then you can also have the ability to enable RSVPs. So I should preface this by saying that this can be turned off. You don't have to enable them. But if you do enable RSVPs, then you can set the capacity for the number of people you will allow to RSVP to the event. And not only does that help kind of manage it, but also it allows you to get the names and email addresses of anyone that says, yes, I'll be there. So that just helps build a stronger volunteer database as well from a management standpoint. Once again, good old description box. We're getting pretty familiar with this guy, right? Where we can utilize all the formatting tools we have here to really explain what our event's all about. You can say an event is all day, and if that's the case, then you only need to provide a start date and time. If it's not all day, you do need to give some sort of end date and time. You can provide unique event contact information, of course, where it's located, and when all is said and done, make sure you click update to save all your hard work. So it's very similar to posting a need. All right. Do you guys have... Go ahead.
Outside of the description box, is there any place to put like more details on location? Like sometimes if you have a trail project, you've got to give people like details like park here and then turn here and walk half a mile or that kind of stuff. Would it be, you would want to put that in the description box, or is there anywhere else to put that for like location?
This is a free text field, so if you wanted to, you could say something like, clear, walk the path for 2 miles. You could do something like that.
Okay, that works.
Or the description box, and once again, you can link within here, so that's a really handy thing to take advantage of. So you could be like, maybe you have already typed this all out on your website. You could say like, for more details on location, click here. Ugh, I can type, I promise.
Okay.
And
That's
then,
good.
and then you could send people to, like if you've already typed it out somewhere else, you can send it there.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions about adding events?
Can you talk about the two options at the very bottom of the page? Just because I think cloning is important for folks to know about.
Oh, you mean these two? Absolutely.
Thank you.
So you probably noticed it on needs as well, but we do offer you guys the opportunity to clone both opportunities and events. This really comes into handy if you are running, maybe I'm doing this event again and on October 30th. I don't want to type all this stuff out again. That'll take forever. If I clone the event, it just makes a copy of everything. So it creates a separate event that is a copy of this one. I can go in and edit when I need to reflect the changes and hit update. And then if you say, never mind, I don't want to have this event anymore, you can just delete it. But cloning is super handy.
One thing to keep in mind is, like, events are different than volunteer opportunities. So
Right.
if you're having like a trail cleanup or something, that's a volunteer opportunity.
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and an event is that
Right.
you're doing a fundraiser for trails, or
Right.
you're having a community meeting to discuss what
Right.
to do about those darn raccoons, or whatever it might be. And so just really differentiating those two things. But it does, I mean, it's sort of an additional benefit. It's not something that we didn't have previously, so that you can have your fundraisers and other
meetings
and make sure people know about stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
Well,
And is that
sorry.
is
Go
that
ahead.
same clone feature also on the opportunities?
It sure is.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought. Okay.
I have a question about RSVPs. Is there a way to track actual event attendance as well?
Not at this time. You do have, so if I go back to the list, you can export RSVPs for an event, and then you can, manually check it at the event itself. But we do have check-in for opportunities, but at this time we don't have check-in for events.
Okay, so then that for events, then it would essentially be exporting it as a Excel spreadsheet or something, and then doing it manually.
Right. Yep.
Okay, and then for the opportunities, when you have the check-in, would that automatically get transferred to CRM?
That's a whole other.
Sorry, that's additional. Don't need to answer that.
So I think you brought up a different software, but the check-in feature with opportunities, if we just look at it quickly, I don't want to dive too deep into it just because we still have to look at some other stuff, but if you do check-in, you can check in the folks that have that are at your organization for an opportunity. So if I want to check in someone that's here for the professional administrative assistant position, I can either go to individual and they can check themselves in. So, if I just want to add it for myself, it can find my account. And if I have an existing account, it tells me it found me and it'll check me in. If I don't have an account, it'll allow me to create one right then and there, which is nice. Or if you want to bulk check people in, you can go to the list and you can say, these are already people who have responded to the event. So if, Diane, Alice, and myself have already responded to this opportunity, I can check each of us off and check all of them in one swoop. So I don't usually cover check-in in a training just because it's a little bit more higher level than than is usually needed as you're getting your profile going. But we do have lots of resources for this if you have any additional questions.
Thanks, Michelle.
No problem. So as an organization manager, I have done a lot of hard work. I have needs. I have events. I've done a great job with my profile. If we take a look at what all this hard work looks like, dun, da, da, here it is. We have our awesome profile with our great logo. We have our opportunities that we've posted, the event we posted, contact info, and our photos. And one thing I really love is when you enter a location, it gives you this great Google map. So if I were to click there, it'd take me right to Google Maps, and I could, type in my address and see exactly how far it is to, the organization, all that fun stuff. So all that being said, that's pretty much everything from the agency's perspective for now. If we look at our agenda, you'll see that we'll hop back in here to talk more about time tracking. But before we do that, do we have any questions before we check out the user's perspective?
Just one. Can you go back to the top of that page, or near the top? And the icons that appear next to the two postings, are those just like general icons, and what do those mean? Like the balloon and the...
Sure. So these icons are used to identify with the activities and abilities. So if I hover over the trash can, that's because I selected clean and decorate. And for focus areas, if I hover over that, that means I selected environment and animals. And so the icons were chosen by your awesome King County team.
Okay.
And I put in a request for a paintbrush.
It was you that asked for the paintbrush.
I'm not a huge fan of the garbage.
Yeah.
Well, I should have mentioned this before, so if you are like, that's weird, I don't want a trash can right there, you can keep that, who is that? Was that Coordinate Cat Toy Donations? Yeah. So if I go to Coordinate Cat Toy Donations and I scroll on down, I've selected Clean and Decorate as well as a couple others. I've just made
yeah, I see.
I can be like, ooh, I don't want it to be a trash can. I want it to be whatever this one is. And then if I save it, all right, sorry, 1 second, I'm sorry. Oh, come on. All right. And when I click Update Opportunity, now when I look, it's a paperclip.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and log out as myself, and I'm going to introduce you to our volunteer today. Her name is Bernadette, and she loves to help others, and she has come to the King County site to learn about what opportunities there are in her area so that she can get involved. So if I am a brand new volunteer and I come to the front of the site, I have this great search box presented to me right away, where I can search for opportunities, community events, or organizations just right with this search box here. We're going to go ahead and just keep it on opportunities and give the magnifying glass a little click. All right. And now this is probably one of the most exciting things, I think, when a volunteer gives that button a click and there are lots of opportunities for them to get involved. They can see exactly how active a site is, and they even have the opportunity to narrow it down a little bit. So Bernadette can sort, so she can see what's been added most recently, or maybe what's happening the soonest. And then she can also search by applying filters. This is super cool. So she can search by age, maybe an organization she really wants to work with. But I really love that she can search by impact area or activity. So if we give activity a little click here, ooh, I'm going to capture this real fast because that should say activity. Sorry about that. So she's going to select something that she wants to do to help out. Maybe she really wants to help fundraise. Let's select fundraise, and when we give the search button a little click, it applies that filter. And what do you know? Here's her dream opportunity to be a professional administrative assistant. So naturally, this probably isn't quite enough information for a volunteer to want to just respond right away. So we're going to view details to learn a little bit more.
Quick question.
Sure.
Can you use multiple criteria?
You can.
Okay.
Let me show you how.
Okay.
There's not a, let's see how, so I'm going to go ahead and search by organization and say that I want to work with Meow Cat Sanctuary, but also I want to do office and admin. So you just select filter, and then it allows you to keep narrowing it down. So when I click search,
I worry that a less computer savvy person may not realize, like once they've selected their first filter, they may not realize they can select a second or third.
okay.
It just, I mean, it seems like there's nothing in there that says you can select more than one, or
Sure.
so many search things are set up, you select it, and then the next thing you do is you hit search.
Sure.
So it may not occur.
I think that's a valid notice. I'm wondering if maybe even just one of those question marks might help, where maybe
Yes.
some help
Yes.
text.
I think a question mark would probably be all that you need.
Cool. I will definitely bring it up with our developer. I'm sure he'll say, good idea.
Say, oh my God.
All right. So let's go ahead and click on the professional. Well, we haven't looked at that one live yet. Let's go ahead and look at the professional administrative position. So I did want to point out, you mentioned this earlier. So on the volunteer perspective, it says volunteer spots remaining. It doesn't say capacity. So
yeah, that's good.
it is
Good,
a little
I like
bit
that.
more clear for the volunteers, but I do agree that it needs to probably change just for consistency purposes. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So here we have our great description, my very loud proclamation that everybody is welcome. That seems kind of weird underneath a picture of cats, but anyway. If all of this looks pretty good to Bernadette, then she's going to commit and she's going to respond to the need. So let's give the respond button a little click. Hey, what do you know? She's asked to log in. So I really love this feature with Get Connected in that you do not have to have an account before you can start checking out opportunities and organizations. There's lots of websites out there that they don't let you look at anything until you create an account. 9 times out of 10, I will leave a website like that. So I do like that this gives our volunteers the opportunity to learn more about the site before they have to create an account. Now, if Bernadette has not created an account yet, she would click here. But like I said, she loves to help others, so she created an account a while ago. So we have Bernadette's email and password. And we give the login button a little click. And not only does that log her in, but it brings her to the opportunity response form. So here she has a little bit of more information about the need, just so that she knows she's in the right place. She can say which days she can volunteer. She can also provide any other additional basic information, even provide notes. This is nice if she wants to say what organization or what previous experience she might be coming to this opportunity with, any questions she might have. And then from here, Bernadette will click Submit Opportunity Response. Let's do it. All right. So we have this great little prompt that says, yay, Bernadette, you did it. And so she can share on social media from here. She can post it on Facebook, tweet about it, put it on Google+. She can also unregister from the need easily if she ever needs to. And then we're also going to encourage our volunteers to follow the organizations they love. So if Bernadette becomes a follower of Mountain Cat Sanctuary, then she will be kept in the loop whenever this organization posts a new need, posts a new event. She'll be one of the first to know. So this is a great way to encourage engagement with volunteers and keep them coming back for more. Do you guys have any questions about Bernadette responding to the need?
I have back on the where she logs in.
Uh-huh.
All right, go back to that page.
From the login page itself?
Yeah, the login page.
All right, she'll log out just for you, and we'll give the login button a click. Here we go.
Okay, so when I read sign in with Facebook, I see a lot of older volunteers going, oh my God, you mean I have to have a Facebook account just in order to do this? And then they get just going, oh, never mind, oh, never mind. It's kind of a nuance, but I wonder if is it sign up through Facebook? Is there some way to, we still, in this day and age, we still have a lot of non-web savvy people, and when choices aren't communicated clear to them, like I look at this and I go, oh yeah, I know that I don't have to do the Facebook thing. But some people, they go, oh, you mean now I have to go through Facebook or have a Facebook account? It'd be great if there was like an either or.
Yeah,
like
and it's,
this or that, this or that.
and Michelle, when they are in the process of creating an account, it actually has a sign up with Facebook and then the or, and then it has sign up with your email address. And I'm wondering if you can see if, you know, bake some cookies for your development people. Yeah.
You're saying that that shows up on your copy?
No, on a different page.
Oh.
So if you create your account differently, if you start creating your account instead of starting from finding an opportunity and then creating an account because you picked one,
Yeah.
you get a different experience.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're looking at the sign up page right now versus the login.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that kind of or.
Yeah, I like that much. I think that's much clearer, especially
Okay.
to the older, less web savvy person.
Sure. So I can definitely bring all of this up. I did just want to point out that it's maybe not the most ideal situation, but if you're kind of concerned about it in the short term, I can take the Facebook option off.
No.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I can always bring it back. So if you guys are worried about, as you're launching the site, that people will see that and get frustrated and just not sign up at all, I can take it off and we can bring it back. And you guys obviously don't have to decide that today. You can talk about it internally and just shoot me an email later.
Yeah. No, we definitely want that. So.
Okay. I feel like, so this is unfortunately going to be an enhancement, but I think it's a valid one. And I think the easiest solution would just have the same kind of look as sign up with the or.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and log Bernadette back in.
So Michelle, one other question.
Okay.
When Bernadette becomes a follower for an agency, you said that she gets information about upcoming opportunities.
Uh-huh.
What does that mean? How does she get that information?
So if she follows Mountain Cat Sanctuary, and then I'm the organization manager of Mountain Cat Sanctuary, right? So if I post a brand new opportunity, she will get an email from Get Connected. It's not something I have to send out. The software just sends it out for me. She'll get an email saying, hey, this organization that you follow posted a new opportunity. Want to respond? Click here. So it's not something you have to worry about. It's something the software automatically does.
And can they opt in or opt out of these emails?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay. So Bernie has responded to the need. She is feeling good about volunteering. And so right now she's on her dashboard. So she can utilize and access this area anytime by clicking the dashboard button. And here is just a really great snapshot of what King County is doing with their Get Connected site. So there aren't any other agencies on it yet, so it's not the best example of it, but it will look awesome very soon, where Bernadette may see opportunities that match the activities and focus areas that match her profile. She can see which events have been added most recently, which opportunities, and which organizations. And this is where I like to give probably the best advice that I have for any organization manager. And that is the best way to stay relevant is to just be active. Always be editing your profile page. Always be adding new needs and events. I mean, I think you guys know what I mean by I say always, but frequently be doing that just so you can be on the forefront of volunteers' dashboards and they'll see you. So as Bernadette was looking at her profile, she realized that she wanted to submit some hours. So to do that, we're going to click on her picture here. Go to track hours. And from here, she's going to submit her first set of hours. So she can click this button here, and this button's super handy if a volunteer has lots of hours, but Bernie hasn't submitted any yet. So she's going to go ahead and just first answer the question, are the hours she's about to submit in reference to an opportunity she's responded to on the site? She's going to keep it at yes, and then select professional administrative assistant. So there's an extra question here that she can answer if she would like to, but she has to answer what day she volunteered and how many hours. And she also has another description box where maybe she wants to say filed papers all went perfectly. And once all of this is filled out, Bernadette's going to click Submit Hour Entry. And now when we look at the table, we have her hours. Oh, do you guys have it set on auto approve for hours?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, well, that changes my presentation a little bit.
And the question, so when she fills out answers the question and or puts in the other box, who gets that? Where does that go to?
So this is usually my second part where I explain that Bernadette's hours are pending. But since they've been auto-approved, I can give away the spoiler, and that is that the agency managers for Meow Cat Sanctuary will get that information, as well as site administrators. And if anyone has any more questions about Bernadette in her hours, I'll happy to answer them, or we can go ahead and switch back to the agents or the organization manager perspective so we can see what that looks like.
That sounds good.
Actually, one quick thing on the user side. Could you just quickly show the team? Like if she were if she were bringing a team to the project.
Okie dokie. So I believe I have teams set up for coordinate cat toy donations. This will also show you what it looks like when you have shifts. So we have the little team icon here. So if Bernadette wants to respond as a team, she can click there. And then also, this is what it looks like when we have created shifts. So if Bernadette sees all of this, she can respond on her own or as a team. So let's go ahead and just have her respond as a team to this shift here. So we'll create a team name real fast. Let's say Team Cat Ladies. She'll be asked if she's attending as part of the team. We'll keep it on yes. And then you'll notice that since there's only 2 spots available for this shift, she can only add up to 2. So she'll go ahead and take those 2 spots, and when she submits her opportunity response, she's then taken to her team form where she can add a team member. So let's add her brother, Cedric, and we'll click Submit Member. And now Cedric he'll receive an email letting him know that he's been added to the team. And so if Bernadette ever wants to do any work on her team, she can go to the My Teams tab, and there they are, Team Cat Ladies. Is that what you wanted to see, or did I skip something you wanted to see?
If when Bernadette goes in and let's say she has like 8 people to add, is it required to enter each team member's email address?
That is a setting that Diane and company have established, and I don't know off the top of my head. Do you know off the top of your head?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it is required.
Okay.
Is there like a bulk upload? No. We can't do it if it's like huge.
All right. Do you guys have any other questions for Bernadette?
It's like my kitty.
Did you know she was a cat? Did you?
No, this whole time we had no idea. I had no idea.
Well, she is going to celebrate her hard work volunteering the same way she celebrates everything. She's going to go sleep on the couch. And so she's going to log out of her Get Connected account. And since I'm the organization manager for Meowth and Cat Sanctuary, I got the notification about the hours being submitted. I got the notification about the user response, and I want to check all of this out. So I'm going to log back in as myself. And we're going to hop right to time tracking, or actually we're not going to go to time tracking. If you guys ever, well, we'll go there. We'll go there because although you will never have to approve or decline volunteer hours because they are set on auto approve, you can add hours on behalf of volunteers back here as well. So if I want to add hours for a professional administrative assistant, I can either add anonymous hours or I can add them on behalf of Bernadette. So just a good thing to know that you can do. And as for stats, this is pretty cool. This is my favorite part to show you guys. This is how you can see all the magic that's happening. You can apply a date range, and this can be super specific or super wide, depending on how long you've had your profile going. So we'll have a start date and end date. And once you apply your date range, you can see the number of followers. Oh, I'm going to screenshot that too, because that should say followers, not fans. So you can see the number of followers you have here, how many page reviews you've received, and then we have these awesome tables where you can see the names and email addresses of all of your awesome volunteers that have responded to opportunities. And you also have another table of all the hours submitted. And you can export both of these. This will, clicking either of these buttons will create a CSV that you can export into Excel, you can print, you can make graphs, whatever you want to do. And this is just really helpful information as you make your profile stronger and learn more about your community.
Can you just quickly open up one of the responses?
Like the report, or?
No, the individual response.
You actually don't open an individual response. It's just
okay, so I just asked the volunteer a question about their experience, and what if they said, you know, I was really kind of disappointed, and I'd like a call back to talk about my first day.
That's in the hours. So that would be in the hours section.
Oh, it's in the hours. Okay.
Yeah, we ask that for people who are submitting their hours.
Right.
Okay.
And that would be in the export.
Okay.
Cool. Well, you guys, that was everything I was going to show you today. You did it! Yay! I'm happy to take any questions you might have. I'm sure you guys are mostly eager to start getting to work and creating your profiles. But is there anything I can cover before we break for the day?
Anything on sort of that back-end manager report, I mean, where the organization managers, I'm thinking when they're in sort of the...
I can probably turn my recording. Can we cut the recording?
Can you, I'm sorry, can you what?
Can you stop the recording?
No, this wasn't for us. I'm talking about the organization.
Oh, for the agency?
Yeah, so was that the one place there, the stats, is that the only place where organizations see their sort of activity, or do they have a back end as well?
This is essentially their back end.
Okay. Yeah, and then also just, if you could just talk quickly about like what's on that side, like that's where the community events show up and those yeah.
Sure. So we call this our left-hand navigation, and I love this feature because it shows it's always there. So whether I am an organization manager or or a user, I can always access opportunities, community events, and organizations, and then the admins at King County have created spotlights, and those are highlighted on the left-hand side on the navigation bar as well. And so this is just a really convenient way. If I want to say, well, what events are going on, I can go just click there and be redirected there right away. Cool. Is there anything else?
No, yeah,
Is there anything on the top part for the organizations that they should be the top? Yeah, that top area up there that they need to be.
Sure.
I know there's multiple organizations.
Well, have you guys created your impact pages yet?
Not yet. We're going to wait until we have some things, so it's not like 0, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, real fun in the beginning. But really, I think the main thing is the impact page. Right now, it's not going to have, like we were just saying, a lot of information, but this internal impact page can give another really strong highlight about how organizations are working with Get Connected and different kind of features as well. And then you also have your calendar, and this shows not just your organization, but site-wide, all the organizations. And then this return to our website will redirect you to the King County United Way website. So if you ever need to be redirected back to the motherland, that is where you can go. Oh, and this huge thing that I keep ignoring, this is your inbox. So you might be receiving in-app messages, and so you will have notifications here letting you know if you have messages, and you can also be redirected to your inbox that will display those same messages as well. And you'll be receiving notifications about, as you can see, responses to new opportunities. The admins at King County might be sending in-app messages to this space as well. So just keep an eye on the number here and make sure you're all caught up.
And those will also, like, most of those, not all, but most of those will go to your regular email address.
They will.
When you're here, you'll also see them again.
Right. So
make sure.
So this is nice if you have someone that's opted out of emails, they'll still receive in-app messages. So they'll still get the same messaging.
Great.
All right.
I think we are all set to Michelle. Thank you so much.
You are
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. I am gonna tell you guys this recording. It takes I'm gonna go ahead and stop.